The jungle stretched endlessly, its thick canopy blocking out the dying light of the sun. A whispering wind rustled through the trees, carrying with it an ancient warning. Deep within the dense forest, a group of explorers led by Dr. Kwame pushed forward. They had spent months tracing the legend of Nyoka, a village that had mysteriously vanished centuries ago. "You should not be here," Baba Jengo, the village elder, had warned them before they left. "The spirits do not forgive." The path grew narrow, winding through twisted roots and thick vines. The deeper they ventured, the heavier the air became, thick with an eerie silence that pressed against their ears. Even the insects had stopped chirping. Kwame adjusted his glasses, his eyes scanning the dense foliage ahead. "Everyone stay close. This place has an unsettling energy." Amina, a historian, clutched her journal tightly. "It feels like we're being watched." A sudden rustling sent their hearts racing. Shadowy figures flickered between the trees. The wind carried hushed voices, whispers that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. Then, a bone-chilling whisper slithered through the air. "You should not have come." Aid gasped as an unseen force yanked him backward into the darkness. His scream was brief, swallowed by the jungle. The flashlight he had been holding clattered to the ground, its flickering beam the only evidence he had ever been there. Dr. Kwame's heart pounded. "Eh!" he called, his voice swallowed by the dense silence. Amina dropped to her knees, grabbing the flashlight and sweeping its weak beam around. The trees loomed taller, their shadows shifting unnaturally. The night fell abruptly, draping the jungle in an oppressive darkness. The group stood frozen, realizing that they were no longer alone. The spirits of Nyoka had awakened. The whispers grew louder, forming words in an ancient tongue. A chilling mist began creeping along the forest floor, and from within it, dark figures started to take shape, translucent yet menacing. The smell of burnt wood and decayed flesh filled the air. "We need to move!" Kwame shouted, grabbing Amina's arm. The remaining members scrambled through the underbrush, stumbling over roots and vines as the shadows closed in. A soft laughter echoed through the trees, a childlike giggle twisted with malice. Then came a voice, clear and deep, speaking in a tongue long forgotten. Baba Jengo's warning rang in their ears. The village was never abandoned. It was consumed. A deep drum beat resonated in the distance, growing louder with each passing second. The jungle pulsed with an unnatural life, as if breathing in time with the drums. The explorers had found Nyoka, but the village had been waiting for them. Over the next hour, their terror deepened. As they stumbled further, they found eerie carvings on the trees, depictions of people screaming, their faces twisted in agony. Amina traced a shaking finger over one, her breath catching as a whispering voice curled around her ear. "Turn back." Dr. Kwame tightened his grip on his satchel, his fingers brushing over the old parchment they had found days earlier. "There has to be a way out," he muttered. But as they turned, the path they had taken moments ago had vanished. Only a thick wall of trees remained, gnarled roots shifting like grasping fingers. Aid's voice suddenly rang out in a broken whisper from the darkness, his tone hollow. "Help! Me!" Kwame turned sharply, his flashlight flickering. "Aid?" A shadowy figure emerged, but it was not Aid as they knew him. His body twitched unnaturally, his eyes sunken and hollow. His skin bore the same markings as the trees, symbols carved deep, oozing with an inky blackness. His mouth opened, but his words were not his own. "You cannot leave." Amina screamed, stumbling backward. The trees moaned as if alive, the roots curling toward them like serpents. The distant drums grew deafening. Then, silence. And then, a voice, calm and commanding. "You have trespassed on sacred ground. Now you must pay the price." From the darkness stepped a figure draped in tattered ceremonial robes, his face hidden beneath a mask of woven bone. The cursed priest of Nyoka had arrived.